was a production that was probably a good year into the making, only because
Wow.
I wanted to be ready. And I definitely took time to make sure that I planned it to be as safe as possible, as contradicting as that sounds. But it's just one of those things, man, that once I started, like, I'm 39 years old right now. So what is it? It was in 2013 I did that. So that was 7 years ago. So I was 32. At 32, I was for sure on my way out mentally, being motivated to do any other type of skating, like jumping on handrails and jumping gaps and all that kind of stuff. It just wasn't doing it for me. So, like any skater, you need that adrenaline rush, right? And skitching has always been that. Skitching has always been something that just makes me feel like I'm alive. You know what I mean? Like, I know I could die, but all you got to do is hold on so you don't die.
You wanted the rush of a hammer without actually having to do like a hammer kind of.
What I used to do even before that is when I stopped jumping gaps, like from high to low impact gaps, set to stairs, whatever you want to call it, I started jumping up gaps, like setting up wood and jumping up things, because
I was
Yes, I
going to talk
remember
about that
that.
too. That was so
literally
awesome.
it gave me the same feeling. I was like, dude, I'm jumping huge stuff. My body's flying,
Flying,
but
yeah.
at least I'm not impacting like I used to.
Yeah.
And if you've ever launched up something like really big and you land, it's one of the most smoothest, like you're landing on cloud feeling, but you just did something pretty big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has all of the stuff to get my adrenaline going. So that's why even started doing that. So anyways, back to the sketching. That's exactly why I started sketching more, because I was just like, I want to keep skating, man. And
Yeah.
as weak as it sounds, I'm over the rails. I'm over the gaps and all that. So yeah,
It
man.
doesn't sound weak at all. And
No.
getting back to what you were saying about people seeing skating and like that initial attraction, I think like sketching, one, it's always going to be one of those things that's just gnarly. It's just always going to be that. And like people seeing that's always like, whoa. So and yeah, it's just like one of those things that's always going to be gnarly. So I don't think that that's in any way. I just think that's a natural transition, because there's only so long you can do that, and it's cool to explore those other areas. So yeah, I think that's a really cool natural transition. But go on.
Yeah, definitely, man. So that's what I did. I started sketching. I was sketching stuff before, here and there when I wanted to. I mean, if there is a clip of me in VG12 in Battle My Crew where I like look at the camera and I'm like, juice suck a foos, and I'm getting sketched actually to this one loading dock launch. So
Mm-hmm.
I was doing it back then. I just love the feeling of holding onto a car and going fast. But what I never really did was I never really took it to that next level and did something like on a freeway or somewhere where it just looked epic, I guess.
Gnarly, yeah.
Just looked really gnarly. So, I'm the kind of guy that likes to do his research, and I started looking around on the internet, started YouTubing videos and seeing how people sketch and just seeing what was out there. And I pretty much had my ego take over, and I'm like, oh, no, I can do it a lot better. So that's when the wheel started turning in the head, and I'm just trying to think and trying to produce something that would come off, like you said, as gnarly, as something that took some thought into it. It's not just your, run of the mill, just hold on to the car and you're getting pulled. The funny story is that I forget what video it was. I want to say it's like I think it was MDR, Making Dreams Reality, back in the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clip of one of the dudes from San Diego or Southern California, and he's sketching on the freeway, or he's skating on the freeway. He's not sketching, he's just skating on the side of the freeway. And I remember seeing something like that back then, and I'm like, insane. That's crazy to do. You know what I mean? So when I was thinking of what I should do to sketch on a car, I mean, this is everything that's in my mind. Is like, how can I keep stepping it up and making it that much crazier, but so where I, can actually handle it and do it. So yeah, for Valo 5 specifically, like I said, it took about a year in planning. Actual testing only took one day, not less than a day.
Testing. Is there actual testing?
I mean, the one thing I wanted to test before I tried it was I wanted to make sure that I was able to transfer from the car to the motorcycle.
Yes, I would imagine so. That would, yeah.
I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
If I wasn't comfortable with that, who would have known? Maybe I wouldn't have done it. But we went to the Oakland ports. where there's like huge open roads out there. People actually drag race out there and whatnot. So that's where we went and tested it the day before, or the couple days before, and everything worked out, man. I think I topped out on his motorcycle just to see how fast I can go on his at about 70 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
Damn.
I started feeling like a little bit of speed wobble, and I was like,
Did you have glasses on by any chance?
So no, man. It's kind of crazy.
What?
I think about a lot of things in hindsight now, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm intact, dude. I can't believe I'm still seeing, because yeah, like a rock could fly in my face.
Yeah. Just the wind alone, just like crying from the wind,
What I thought was super crazy about it was obviously the transfer, but jumping like the metal slates in the bridge themselves. And you handled that nice, but like even the timing on the transfer and not having the transfer during those metal slates coming up, like that changed everything, I think.
Definitely. What happened too is if you watch that video, if you watch Volo 5 and you see right at the beginning of the clip, when I start to get out of the car, what happens is my buddy that's driving, he tells me, he goes, Erick, the metal grate's coming up. All this freaking planning, man, all this planning. And I got out pretty much almost at the wrong time. As soon as I got out, I see the metal grate right in front of me as soon as he says that. So it rushes me to get out of the car. So I get out faster than I normally do. And as soon as I get out and close the door, I have to jump.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
It was
I did notice that.
But it also just made the clip look that much, intense, that much more intense.
Oh my God.
The risk factor on that is insane. I wish there was like other cameras of people's reactions in the cars. Like it was a reality show and you could see their faces, because I'm sure to see that is fucking insane. No one ever sees that,
Definitely. And to go back to another time that I sketched, now that you said other people watching and, what they must be thinking, I did an edit before I did the Volo 5 clip. I did a little like 2 to 3 minute sketching in it. It's called ESG Sketching the Bay on YouTube, if you guys want to check that out.
Like I've seen that.
And there's a clip of me sketching next to the big rig. When I got off of the big rig, off the big rig, not sketching a big rig, what am I saying? I'm sketching next to the big rig. When we got off the freeway to go review the footage, a car pulls up next to us and he goes, that was fucking crazy. I got it on my phone. You want to watch it? And we're all just laughing like, no, my buddy got it on his camera. We're good, but thanks.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, glad you enjoyed it. So that was like one reaction. And then back to the Volo 5 sketch. That took me 2 times actually. We tried it twice. We failed on the filming the first time.
Oh, I had to do that twice?
We had to do it twice.
What happened? Yvonne fucked up?
No, Yvonne didn't mess up. It was more of the car issue, was making sure the cars were in the right spot. We came out with Mikey P was there driving his car.
Oh shit.
My car. We had Raymar's van. I think it was like 4 cars total. So
A damn crew.
So it's the first time. So the first attempt. Once I was off the bridge and we kind of take this loop and we get to the stop sign to pull over. I'm the front car. I'm in front on Brandon's bike. The first car that comes up that isn't our car, just a random stranger, he rolled his window down. First thing he says is, that was fucking awesome. And we're like, yeah. Dude, no joke. The next car that pulls up, another stranger, is this lady, rolls her window down. That was fucking stupid.
So complete opposites.
Opposite reactions, man. So yeah. So I can only imagine what people are thinking when they see me.
Yeah. That was also 2013, you said, right?
Yeah. So it was like right on the cusp of video phones, like really starting to come out.
I was about to say, if that was nowadays, you'd be all over Snapchat, Instagram. What's the other one called?
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. You'd be famous. You'd be world famous. You should do it again.
Again.
You should do it again. Yo, that's awesome. Real quick before we jump off that topic, I'm curious about how it feels on your feet, because I've sketched like maybe 30, 40 and it really hurts your feet. Did you have any additional footbeds, any crazy soft wheel setup, nothing like that?
No. So the Bay Bridge is pretty terrible road. It has like these slits all down the road.
Yep.
And my dumbass didn't even think about doing anything where I needed to make sure. I thought about it, but it didn't obviously sink in my head enough to want to change any wheels out. I rode flat 56 millimeter Eulogies.
Wow.
Worn wheels. They weren't brand new. They were worn. So
that's risky.
So again, everything in hindsight, I think about and I go, oh man, thank God nothing happened.
Yeah, if you were to do that now, I'd be like, all right, I'm riding 110s, like 80A, like super soft. Yeah, and like,
Oh, okay. So to answer your question, it was rough, definitely doing the bridge sketch. It was
mhm.
definitely rough. But you kind of don't think about that. You know, you're so juiced basically. You just want to get the clip, and you're not thinking about that at the time.
Mhm.
But I have sketched with like 80 millimeter wheels on, and it's just like you're on clouds. You don't feel anything. You can go.
Yeah, I
I
would
mean,
imagine.
I'm gonna test it out one day where I want to just sketch for as long as I can go until the bearings or wheels just blow out, just to see how long I can go.
Is
Oh,
that
I
like,
love that.
I was gonna ask how you're gonna top that. Is that what you're gonna do? You're just gonna start in like the bay, take the highway east, and just see where you're just on bearings?
I mean, for personal challenge, that's what I want to do for sure. Or I can get like crazy with it, and I can just start putting all these wheel and bearing companies on blast and see which ones go out first and which
Yeah,
ones last the
I,
longest.
I like that.
I
Okay,
like that too.
here's what I'm thinking. PCH down by Monterey, the windy road. There's a above camera drone shot. You sketching on either a motorcycle or something, just like ripping through there, and there's like the whole above scenic. Like I want to see more sketching stuff, man. That's cool. Like I want to see an entire sketching part and all kind of things. Like I got actually even the sketching thing. Like, did you see the latest thing of like Streets of Lagos?
Yes.
Yeah, like the way they were sketching, like they're sketching backwards and stuff like that. I was like, man, that's so cool. Like that's so I don't know.
So
I think that's a whole area that hasn't been explored too deeply, and
Yeah.
that's something that's super super cool. So I think that's something that should.
so now you got my ego turning a little bit, Bill.
Yeah,
You got to turn a little bit. So
yeah.
I said this about 15 years ago, okay? And whoever I said it to, I definitely said it. I said it to probably multiple people. You brought it up earlier. You know, I've been known for doing a lot of set slides. Back then, when I was doing set slides, not pretty much nobody was doing set slides. I mean, they were doing it, but it was very, very just sporadically. And I used to say, man, how come people don't do set slides like grind and set slide out, or like quarter pipes? You know, you grind the coping and set slide down the quarter pipe. And what happened like 5-6 years later? Everyone started doing it. It seems
Mhm.
like you started seeing more and more of it. So I kind of feel like sketching is going to be that next thing.
100%, and that's actually true. Like now that you bring it up, I remember you like coming down and set sliding out of grinds out of the quarter pipe
Mhm.
and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that did become a thing that people started getting deeper into years later, and even more so recently. Like people are, set sliding out of everything. So
Yeah.
wow.
Easily the past 10 years, I've seen the set slide capabilities just like increase tremendously. Like people doing set slides now is exactly what I wanted to see like 15 years ago.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I want to my brains gears and were spinning too when we were talking about this a second ago. I would love to see ESG VOD, right? Where Conan O'Brien did this actually when he transferred from NBC to TBS because he moved from New York to LA. So he did like a promo video where he drove or like walked from New York to LA and did all these things along the way.
Oh,
It'd be
that'd be
so
so
awesome to do a
sick.
cross country sketching video where you're just sketching on different things in different states, like go from the Big Apple to like the middle of nowhere in the country, stop by like Chicago and end up in like the Salt Flats and then end up in like the Bay Area. And
That'd
that
be
would
such
be
a sick edit.
for like 1 week, and that would be the illest video ever. And people will pay big money for that shit.
And these are the kind of videos that are just so fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
more sketching stuff. I'm a huge supporter. I want to see more of that.